Hey everyone, I don't even know. We're here with Trey from Creeping Death. They are playing tonight with Frozen Soul, Gates to Hell, and Enforced. The bill is fucking stacked. If you're not here, you're gonna absolutely miss it. Trey, thanks, man. I appreciate you taking time out of your night to come hang out and chat.
Of course, man.
So, you guys are day 3, day 4 into the run.
Yeah, something like that.
Everything seems to be going pretty.
Yeah. After the first days, Frozen Soul's van broke down, so it was a little hectic that first day in Oklahoma City, but now it's like smooth sailing. It's been chill.
Good old Oklahoma City.
Yeah, very chill little town, honestly.
Yeah, seems like I feel like every band on this bill, you guys are all kind of friends.
Oh yeah, we're all homies. It's kind of funny. There was like maybe one person I didn't know going into the tour, and I think it was Frozen Soul's tour manager, but he's cool as hell. So like everyone's just super chill, and you know, most of these people I've known for 5, 10, 15 years plus at this point. So it's sick. We're just like kind of just hanging out like every day. It's pretty sick.
It's like a vacation, and you get
with your boys, you know, and girls, you know.
Yeah,
so.
That's cool as shit. I think tours like that when everyone's friends, they seem to go really
so much smoother.
well.
We were talking about that with Enforced the other day. It's just everything is so much easier when everyone's homies. You know you can count on someone to help you out if something goes wrong. You can always share gear if something's broken on your situation. Where everyone's very helpful, and we all love each other and take care of each other. So it's awesome.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So with the tour package, are you guys using a singular backline for the whole night?
So us and Frozen Soul share a backline. We share their cabs, and then Enforced and Gates to Hell share a backline.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like first 2, and then they do it off, and then we go up, and then leave it, and then so it makes everything go super smooth, super quick. Every show that we've played so far has ended early, except for the first one, because we had to push it back to make sure Frozen Soul got there on time. So, but even then, like once we all started and went, it went real fast. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, the other night we were in Lawrence, and the show finished like an hour early on a Saturday. So the show had to be done by 10:30, they said, and the show was done like music notes were over like 9:30.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we were already out of the building before we even needed to have sound off. So.
That's like generally my bedtime is like 9:30.
Yeah, everybody was stoked. Like everyone was like, oh, they got to get home at a good hour, and it was dope because everyone got there early. They got there on time and saw the whole show. It was packed from the beginning to end. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, more of that for sure.
Well, this is definitely a bill to get there early, because I don't feel like there's a band on this bill that disappoints at all.
Absolutely. Enforced fucking rips. They've been ripping forever. And Gates of Hell is heavy. I'm stoked to see them in their hometown. I've seen them at LDB before.
Yeah.
And that's always a Warzone when they play. So
they did so Knock Loose just did like the 2 nights at Paris Town Hall, and they did a pop-up show here the night before, and
that was crazy.
Oh, it was fucking insane. There were more broken bones and black eyes than I've ever fucking seen at a show, dude.
Damn.
It was like it sold out. I think they said in like an hour.
Oh, damn. That's crazy.
And they, tickets went on sale. What was it? I guess they went on sale Wednesday, and the show was Thursday. Like, holy fuck! Like I'd never seen so many people here. It was great.
Yeah, so dope.
Gates to Hell. Of course, I'm really looking forward to seeing them tonight on this bill. I think every band is different enough where you're not going to get bored the same thing all night, right?
Cool. It's cool like that. I agree.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Frozen Soul, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, you're in for a treat. It's they perform super well. They're super tight, locked in. Their sound guy is a beast. They sound massive, like badass. Literally. So it's sick. It's it's a whole experience for sure. It's fun.
Super excited for that. What are your first thoughts on like the venue here?
I think it's cool. I've played Louisville many times, and this is my first time on this pretty much side of town at all. So it's pretty cool. I like the little museum pieces back there. That's really cool. The stage is really cool. Like I like the hardboard thing. That's sick. It's a nice sized room too. So I'm excited. Stoked to for the show tonight.
I think it'll be a really good crowd. I'm really excited. I think, again, right, every band on the bill is going to fucking crush it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really hoping. I think a lot of people are going to show up to the show, especially with Gates to
Yeah,
Hell
for
being
sure.
on the bill.
That's what I figured too.
Every
time we've played with them in Louisville before, like when they first started, and even back then they brought a ton of kids out. So
yeah,
I know they're Louisville like definitely takes care of their own. They like ride for their area and their city, which is really cool. They've always, even like I've played LDB a few times, and the putting forth like Louisville and Louisville hardcore and like this kind of like Midwest hardcore thing, putting that at the forefront. They always do that like big. So I know they'll show out for the hometown team for sure.
Yeah, everyone really goes crazy, especially now. So I moved here about 25 years ago,
mm-hmm.
and the scene was good then, but I think now, like, the bands, not that there were bad bands then,
mm-hmm.
there are just a lot more good bands now, and everyone, punk, hardcore, metal, whatever, they're like, okay, it's one of ours. Yeah. We're gonna go support, be there. Like, everyone's pulling for everyone, which is really fucking awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. That's and we get that vibe too in Texas. Like, us Frozen Soul. Like, I played in, like, Chad's was in the band that I did one of my first tours with. So like, like we've all been homies for forever, and we've always been trying to help each other out no matter what. So it's same thing. It's like one of your own. You wanna put on for the home team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. It's really cool when the crowd actually comes and supports it, right? Because mm-hmm. I think everyone has played those shows where you're like, okay, well, the bartender's here and the door guy's here, like, all right, let's do it. you know? And I like to see people supporting people, right? Especially chasing their dreams, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's always, we're preached. Well, at least, my generation was always preached, go to college, do this, get a family, buy a house, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And shit, now we're like, no, college is overrated. Like, life's too short. Let's chase what we get,
Yeah, for sure. I was lucky enough to at least, I finished college, but so by the time I finished college, I had the time to really pursue music and stuff. So I was definitely lucky in that sense. But yeah, it's like, I always tell people the same thing. It's like, I haven't used my degree one day. Right. And even now, it's like, I'm going to pivot to something else. Like, I'll start working in like software engineering and shit. So I didn't even go to college for that, but I'm going to be doing that eventually. So yeah, it's like not even really that important. Right. You can always pivot and do something, start something, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think one of the biggest debts that we have right now is student debt. Mm-hmm. I think the last thing I've read was out of our 32 trillion, almost 2 trillion of it was just student loans. Mm. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Out of those, it's like, it's like 85% of those people aren't using their degrees.
Oh, yeah.
So what was the point of going to college?
Yeah.
So what did you go to college for?
So it started off being biology. I was going to go to pharmacy school, but it ended up being one of the bullshit interdisciplinary majors where you just put 3 like minors together just to get out of there. So I was probably never really going to get anything serious after that. But most of my friends don't even work anywhere close to what they got their degrees in.
Right.
So it's like, it's not even really that big of a thing. They just kind of want to see something, and then most places will just teach you at this point, or you can just go do a trade. Like, that's what I always tell people. It's like most places will just will teach you whatever thing you need to do. So it's not really that big of a deal.
Right. Well, especially now, like you go into trades, and it's so I'm in real estate. That's what I do, and the trades, there are not enough people doing it, and you can make 6 figures in it really flipping quick.
There's a joke meme that goes around. It's like, we don't need more hardcore bands, we need more plumbers and shit like that. So there's a joke. There's always like people like like making jokes and memes about that shit.
Well, yeah, I mean that's life, right? If we can't joke and laugh at it, right?
Then you're gonna cry.
Yeah. All the time. Yeah, and think about it, right? The one thing that I always was curious about is these lending institutions, the government, if you say I want to go to school, they're quick to give you however much money you want. They don't care.
Or if you want a credit card, it's like pretty easy to get.
But if you say I want to start a business, they're like, sorry, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. You can get an education, but if you're trying to actually make money, we're not into that. That's a little fucked up part of our system, you know?
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, just keep doing what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So out of all your years of touring,
Mm-hmm.
is there a time, like, this is a two-part question. Is there a time where you were like, holy shit, I never thought something like that would happen on tour. It was so hilarious.
Oh man, I mean that happens like all the time. Like I honestly feel that like a lot of times when I play like new places, really big shows, stuff like that. Like I never thought I'd ever play overseas. Never thought I would play like, you know, for thousands and thousands of people sometimes, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's mostly what my brain goes to. But for like funny instances, I don't know. A lot of them are like not. I don't know. They're just like organic. So it's like
Sure.
it's hard to like really think pinpoint one.
Yeah.
I mostly think of like when I'm playing, like holy shit, like this is crazy. I can't believe like we're playing here or doing this or I'm here or something like that. That's kind of where.
So the other side of that question is like, what band? What was the first band or the last band that you were like on stage going, holy shit, I never thought we would like play with these guys.
Carcass. We've done 2 tours with Carcass, and not only have we done like 2 tours with them, but we're like really like good friends. Like at this point, it's like anytime we see each other, we're just always like hanging out, locked in. Like we're always making fun of them on their social medias and stuff like that, and they're messaging us, and you know, it was fun. Even like their crew, our TM Chris, we actually met her through them. She does merch for them too.
Oh, right on.
So you know, we all hit it off. So now she does TM and merch stuff for us too. And Sam, their guitar tech, Bill's guitar tech, he actually did. He tour managed our European tour, the one we did with Frozen Soul.
Right on.
This in the winter, and that was awesome. I love Sam, dude. Sam Bushby, he's a legend, mate. He's dope.
That's
great
cool.
Dude, great
Yeah.
dude. So yeah, that was definitely one big one. I mean, we're like hitting it off with like Immolation, like tours with Exhumed. Like we played Milwaukee Metal Fest and we were hanging out with Exhumed, and it was like we hadn't even like there had been no time in between like hanging out. It was like awesome. I was like, damn, like I really missed y'all. Like that's sick. And they were the first band we did a tour with after like the pandemic kind of started to let up and we could tour again. It was us, Bewitcher, and Enforced, and Exhumed.
Hell yeah.
And it was dope. We had a amazing time. It was a blast.
What a killer bill.
Oh yeah, it was dope. It was really sick. So.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, you know, just stuff like that. We're just getting to play with like, and, you know, do people that you've been listening to for years and stuff like that. So
for sure. I think Carcass just so I'm doing the Headbangers boat this year.
Oh nice.
And at the gates had a previous commitment so they dropped off, but they put Carcass in their place. And I'm like, okay, like I really wanted to see At the Gates, but I'm not disappointed with Carcass at all, you know? Yeah,
Carcass is great and they sound amazing. Like they're just incredible musicians. Like
yeah.
And they locked in like every single night. It's pretty sick.
I really, I haven't seen them since probably 2014. It was them, Crowbar, and Night Demon.
Nice. Yeah, they're awesome live. Like really, really good. Like the last few years, especially, they kind of had a new lineup. They got a new guitar player. And yeah, they're definitely locked in. Like
hell yeah,
it's pretty sick.
I'm really looking forward to seeing them on Headbangers Boat.
Nice.
Well, so as far as Creeping Death, what we kind of chatted about it briefly, but what do you guys have going on over the next like 6 or 12 months?
So we have the Night Shift Fest in Daytona, Florida in September. We might have a little Texas run possibly. Not quite sure on that one yet, sometime in the fall, but mostly we're just kind of taking the fall off. We've been hitting it hard for the last few years, so kind of take like 3 to 5 months off a little bit, just chill, and then 2025 hits, and we'll be back on the road at some point then.
Hell yeah. Yeah. New music in the works?
Maybe. Like eventually, probably like maybe when we stop a little bit, start writing or working on writing stuff. But right now, I haven't really started to try to write stuff yet. But yeah, at some point, I'm just taking my time. I'm not someone who's just like I have to like go. It's like if I want to and if I'm feeling it, then I'll do it. But if I'm not, then I'm not gonna force it. You know?
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't force it because then people start listening to it and go, "Oh, what's this?"
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like no, that's I think a common thread like amongst a lot of bands are like they're either doesn't matter if you're super creative all the time or just like when the mood hits,
Mhm.
but you write music that you want to listen to
Yeah.
and it comes out genuine
Yeah.
and fucking fantastic. You
For
know?
sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What so like set list on this run? What does that look like for you guys?
We practiced a lot of songs. We have a fill-in. Lincoln's at home, like just kind of taking care of himself a little bit. So we got a fill-in drummer. So we taught him about 40 minutes worth of stuff. And our set's like 30, 35 minutes every night. So we rotate some songs here and there. But yeah, we have a good selection. Like we played, 3 or 4 new songs, 2 or 3, basically 2 to 3 from each kind of like record, or at least one song from each kind of record that we put out. So it's more of a variation than the last few because we've been touring off the new album. So we've been playing a little bit more new songs, but now we've started to bring in some older tracks because we're playing some fests and some hardcore fests and stuff. So thought we'd bring back some of the moshier tracks for this one. So it's been fun.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. I think the crowd's going to react really well tonight.
Oh yeah.
Any idea on like how ticket sales have done so far?
I am not sure. I like to be surprised. I know all the Frozen Souls dudes know usually, and I could probably just go and ask them later and figure it out. But I don't really. I just kind of like wing it. Whether there's like 500 people or 5 people, I'm gonna do the same thing.
The same thing.
So,
yeah.
I just look at it like if it's like low turnout or whatever, then I'm like, okay, then it's practice for something else that'll be bigger. Like we are playing some pretty big festivals on this run, so anytime playing live, it's going to be like, good for you. So,
hell yeah. Well, that's fucking awesome. Is there a place that you like playing more than anywhere else?
Besides Texas?
Yeah.
Okay. Texas is definitely number one.
Sure, it's
after that. Okay, I guess in the United States, I would say I love playing California, Colorado. Those are 2 places that we've literally never had a bad show as a band. We've had some pretty good shows in Canada, surprisingly. We've had some pretty sick shows in Toronto and Montreal.
There's nothing to do in Canada, so they have to come out for it.
There's a lot more to do in Canada than you think. Those Canucks can get into some trouble, let me tell you.
Yeah. So I grew up in Detroit.
Oh,
and we would go right across the bridge.
You get it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was like 30 years ago, though. Shit, I'm old.
Let's see. So yeah, that's those are some of my favorite places in the States for sure. Overseas, I like playing the UK. Okay. That's the most like playing the States. It's like they are, North America. They're like super rowdy. People are moshing, stage diving. The rest of Europe is like they're a little bit more like reserved. They like to headbang and they'll circle pit and stuff, but they're mostly just like headbanging, like typical like metal kind of crowd. But yeah, the Brits they definitely mosh like they don't have health insurance. I mean, they do have health insurance.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
So it's not like America.
Yeah, it's like they Americans mosh like, wow, you're moshing like you do have health insurance, but they're just like, oh, the fucking NHS will pick up the fucking tab. Like we'll figure it out.
Break my leg, I don't care.
Just jumping off of speakers, and it's cool. It's like it's fun. It's definitely like a rowdy, like more like North American style. It's fun, and I also like playing. I like visiting Barcelona. Like it's one of my favorite cities to visit. I enjoy playing Scandinavia too. We played Stockholm on the Euro tour with Frozen Soul. That was one of the better shows of the tour for sure. That was a lot of fun. Norway is sick too. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean Denmark too. Like all the Scandinavian countries they love metal. So
yeah,
it's
that's almost like the birthplace.
Yeah, those are real fun places to play for sure. So yeah, those are kind of some of my favorite places.
Is there a venue that really like, aside from Texas, right? Is there like one venue you're like, man, I love going to that place every time?
Let me think. There's a venue in the Netherlands, and I cannot. It's like Dorn juice or something. I cannot pronounce it at all, but it's super nice, super nice, and like they have catering and like all the green rooms are spacious enough for 5 people and comfortable. And, the venue itself is really nice. And they have this thing that like picks up the bus and like turns it around like for you because it's like it's got its own parking garage where you park the buses and stuff. So yeah, it's really sick. I like that one a lot. Let's see, in the States. Oh man, I don't know. See, I don't ever remember the names of these. We played one venue on this last tour with In Flames that I thought was cool. It was in New Hampshire, like Hampton Beach, and apparently it had been there since like the 1900s. And all these like jazz musicians had played there, and they had all these like pictures of these people who had played there, like like Muddy Waters and like literally like super famous like blues and jazz, like all these people. Louis Armstrong played there. And I'm like, holy shit. And it was funny. I was like talking to one of the stagehands. I was like, so tell me, this place is so old. Like, is it haunted? He's like, oh, yeah. Totally haunted. Totally
Absolutely.
Yeah. He was like, absolutely. And I was like, okay, sick. So, yeah, that was cool. It was huge, big, like, sort of like elegant looking, like, ballroom thing. It was
right
cool.
on.
Yeah. Man, they just blend in. I like the Metro in Chicago. That's a cool venue.
Yeah, I feel like they get a lot of really good shows at the Metro.
Yeah, for sure.
But almost every band touring goes through Chicago. So
yeah, it's like the third biggest city in America.
Yeah.
It's like definitely got to hit that.
For sure.
So maybe this is like an indictment, but it's like I only remember the bad ones. You know what I mean? It's like, but I don't want to like put anybody on blast because I know everyone's trying their best, but like I really only remember the bad venues where I'm like, where's that? Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's right. That's this place.
Not that place.
Not this place. I'm like, oh, God. So, yeah. If it's like a good one, I'll show up and I'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember this place. Like, this place is dope.
Hell yeah.
But
that's freaking cool. So, what does your warm-up look like prior to getting on stage?
Usually, like, stretch a little bit. That's kind of it, really. Just kind of drink some water, stretch.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to like play guitar and stuff like that, but I'm now at this point. I'm just like I'd rather just chill, relax. Usually like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes before we play, I'll hit a quick stretch, get blood pumping, get warm, and then put my stuff on, make sure it's tuned, and go out and play.
Hell yeah!
It's nothing too intense.
No, that's a pretty mild like.
Yeah. It's not too much.
So out of over the last year, how many days did you guys spend on the road?
I think in 2023, I forget. I think I might have counted. It was like over 100. It was like basically a third of the year we were kind of on the road. This year it'll be a little bit less at the end of the year because we're not doing as much in the fall.
Yeah.
So yeah, like last couple of years, we basically did one thing each quarter. So it's like one thing in the winter, one thing in the spring, one thing in the summer, one thing in the fall. But yeah, so that usually runs you 90 to 100 shows, depending. Some bands like run up 150, 170, 200 shows. I'm like, that's fucking nuts. Like we were really getting tired with 100, 105, 110. Where we were doing every year. So yeah, so that's roughly about what we did last year.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right? So like, way back, I feel like Metallica would spend 200, 250 nights on the road.
Oh, yeah, that's brutal.
Like, oh my God. And their tour cycles were what, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And, it was a new album. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, and it's like, and if you're touring like us, we're just van and trailer. It's like, living in a van and trailer and just like hotel rooms for 250 days. It definitely wears on you. It's like, you definitely want to go home and chill. Like, even now, it's like, I want to go home and play my PlayStation. I just downloaded NCAA Football 25, and so like I've seen all these videos of my friends playing it. I'm like, I can't play it. Like it's like literally I pre-ordered it, so it's like I got the notification on my phone the day it came out. It's like your download is available or your game is available for download. Click here to fucking start. I'm like now I have to wait till August 10th. But Reese brought up a good point. He was like, now like at least some of the bugs will get out of it. They'll put some patches and it'll probably be a better game when you get it in August. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. But
yeah,
damn, dude.
It's like I want to play it
now. Yeah. So.
Like this addiction. Help.
Yeah.
So funny. Over the next year for Creeping Death,
Mm.
what do you hope happens, or what are some of the goals? That...
Definitely want to hit some more spots that we haven't played. I want to hit the West Coast again. We're due for that for sure. Want to go to Japan, Australia, Southeast Asia, Mexico, South America. Just there's places that we haven't been yet.
Yeah.
We just kind of just want to play those places. That's kind of what hopefully the goal is, but we'll see.
I feel like Japan and Australia, I think, would be two fantastic places for you guys to hit.
Oh yeah, I think so too. It'll be fun.
Yeah. If there was a band that you haven't played with yet that you could play with, who would that be?
Could play with. We haven't played with Obituary yet.
They're getting ready to come through here too.
Yeah, I would love to play with Obituary. We played with Cannibal Corpse on a festival, but we haven't played like a tour date with them before.
No, I thought you guys did. I thought you guys played with them at Diamonds.
No, we haven't played with.
Maybe that was 200 Stab Wounds that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so we haven't been out with Cannibal. That would be cool. There's a band from Norway called Blood Red Throne that I like a lot. I would like to do some stuff with that band eventually one day. That'd be fun.
Right on.
We haven't done stuff with Suffocation. That'd be cool.
They're so fucking good live too.
Other than that, I'm trying to think. There's probably a lot. I would like to do stuff with Tomb Mold. I don't know if they'd be down to do stuff with us, but I love that band. I think it would be fun to play with them.
They were just in Indianapolis, I think, a few days ago.
Yeah, their tour is like literally right in front or behind us. So, there's a lot of cool bands going on right now.
Yeah.
I would like to do some stuff with Skeletal Remains too. I've been jamming that band for a minute. I really like that band. So
yeah,
that'd be cool.
You guys hear that? Make something happen. That's cool. What lesser known bands are you listening to, or have you run across that you think more people should listen to?
Tribal Gaze. They're a band from Texas. They're getting bigger, but I tell everyone like, hey, you need to jam this band. They're fucking awesome. Super fucking heavy. So jam Tribal Gaze for sure. New bands that I've been jamming lately. I'm just gonna shout out my homies. Just Judiciary. Judiciary is pretty big as well, but definitely jam that. It's awesome. It's like new age, like hardcore Machine Head kind of vibe. It's very cool. Scourge from Houston, very like grimy, like hardcore influence, like death metal, but like more on the hardcore side.
Okay.
Yeah, but like the tone, it sounds like Obituary, like Cause of Death, like
hell yeah.
They do the dissonant kind of like chord thing, like Obituary does, like those big kind of barred chords. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. So it's kind of shout out to them.
Well, that's what you want to do, right? Shout out the homies.
Yeah, shout out to the homies, straight up.
Let's keep the circle going.
Exactly.
And I'm glad you did that, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, I listen to, and it's like, cool.
I'm just trying to, shout out the homies, trying to put them on too,
For sure. What early on for you, what was like the catalyst for you going, I'm gonna play some heavy shit?
That's a good question, actually. It just started my friends just kind of I always kind of liked heavier music. Like my mom, she grew up with me listening to like Slayer and even Carcass, like stuff like that, but also like hip hop, R&B, pop. Like literally, like there was not one genre that wasn't played in our household. So just kind of grew up with all of it. So it wasn't super taboo or foreign to me, like hearing it when I was like a kid or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I remember watching. My mom had a Rush 20th anniversary DVD, and I remember watching that and wanting to play drums. Like that's kind of what inspired me to want to play drums. So my mom was also a drummer, so she taught me how to play drums when I was like 12.
Right on.
So that was like my first instrument. But yeah, I guess that would be a pretty good catalyst, like watching that Rush DVD, wanting to play it. But as far as playing like heavy, I guess it started out wanting to play hardcore, really, because once I had, I was a teenager, I kind of got out of the more like metalcore phase.
Yeah.
I also noticed there was the barrier to entry to playing hardcore shows was so much lower, which I thought was awesome. They were just like, oh, you have a band? Do you have a name? Oh, okay. Can you be here this day? okay, cool. You can
Can
open
you
it.
play for 15 minutes? Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, he was like, here's my number, like, blah, blah, blah. We'll be in touch. And we were like, oh, hell yeah. Like, it was so easy to just like play. So that's kind of where I started like playing in my first band, was some shitty hardcore band. So, I guess that's like where the getting into the heaviness got into, I guess. And, it just progresses, like I said, I've always been into Slayer, like, listening to stuff like Carcass since my mom's playing it around me since I was a baby, and, Pantera and stuff. So, getting into the heavierness of that was like not too deep of a pool to get into. So.
Right. Yeah, no, it doesn't sound like it, right? You grew up kind of around it.
Yeah.
And I like that you had kind of a little bit of everything with music. Because a lot of times I feel like in my house, it was all country.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm not listening to that shit. I'm going
that way.
This way, right?
It was cool. It was like, if I was with my mom, I'd get a smorgasbord of her stuff, and if I was with my dad, I'd get a smorgasbord of his stuff. He's from New York, so he was very East Coast hip hop and stuff like that. But he also liked stuff like Elvis Costello and like Leonard Skinner, like really random stuff too. So like, so it was cool. I was just getting a whole bunch of stuff from like all these places. So yeah.
All right. What's your guilty pleasure?
Okay, so I had a thing about guilty pleasures. I like what I like. I don't think anything's a guilty pleasure.
Sure.
I like, if I like it, I like it. It's like music is super subjective, so I'm not one of these people who's like, no, you're wrong. Like this objectively is bad. I'm like, whatever. It's like you could think what I like is bad, and I could think what you like is bad.
Absolutely.
It's like art is subjective. That's like half the fun part about it. So I don't think I have any guilty pleasures. Like I like what I like. If you think it's weird, it's like whatever, dude. Like I like pop music. I like rap music, EDM, fucking soul. I love listening to gospel for the drums, not necessarily the lyrical content.
Sure.
But just like I follow a bunch of gospel drummers on Instagram. I just like watching them shred and shit like that. So like jazz, obviously punk and hardcore.
Yeah.
Classic rock, disco, so blues. Like I really can get down with most things for the most part.
That's
country is the hardest one, but there's some songs that like I'm like, okay, this is like a pretty solid song. Like can't really deny it. But like country is one that is still a harder one for me to get into. But for the most part, it's like I can generally vibe with pretty much anything.
Yeah, for me, so I listen to a little bit of everything also. And when it comes to country, it's a very specific type of country that I have to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Like it needs to be some sort of outlaw.
Oh yeah, you like Johnny Cash and
Johnny Cash,
and shit
Steve
like that.
Earle. Yeah, and I prefer like just a guitar and voice. I don't want the whole band behind
arrangement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it just, to me, that is like the heart of country. Like tear in my beer shit, or I'm going to go do a line of cocaine and get arrested or whatever that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's, I guess like with everything, so it's objective.
Subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their
taste and opinions.
For sure. All right, Trey, I'm not going to keep you much longer, dude. I appreciate you taking time out to chat with me.
Of course, man. Appreciate it.